what's going on, y'all? We're back, and of course, this one's actually going to be a CU heavy video, especially with the news today. Of course, it's obviously no secret. We're going to be talking about JuJu Lewis, but we'll be saving that towards the end, obviously. And of course, we're going to actually start with Travis Hunter. Of course, interestingly enough, he's made his intentions known. He does plan on actually entering the NFL draft in 2025, and I don't really think this is one bit surprising, especially for the fact that we're talking about now the leading Heisman candidate in the country right now. So, in all honesty, I think it really and truly just makes perfect sense that he would be looking to go to the next level at this point. We're in a situation now where Colorado is probably on the verge, at least pretty likely, of getting into the college playoff, or college football playoff, as we talked about before. And it's been led by him, Shador, and the rest of the crew, but I honestly feel as though in the long run what needs to be thought about and taken into consideration here, especially as we see Travis Hunter on the next level, is, the fact that he still intends on playing two-way ball, which you gotta kind of wonder about that. But at the same time, I feel like that was something of a concern to begin with, because how long can that actually last? Him playing so many snaps on both sides of the ball, upwards of what has been literally 100 snaps a game. And, he's actually gotten dinged up here and there, but remarkably enough, he's kept going somehow. I honestly don't understand how that's been the case, but truth be told, it's what we're seeing right now. And again, just the momentum that CU has, and he's the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. It just doesn't get too much better than that, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he manages to continue playing both sides of the ball on the next level. And honestly, I'm just going to put it out there because I've been trying to speak it in existence. I'm hoping he's doing it in orange and blue. So that's a whole other thing. But in all seriousness, this is really, really cool to see. And you just can't wait to just look forward to what we're going to get from this guy on the next level. And with that in mind, speaking of someone who knows something about the next level, we got to talk a bit about Coach Prime here. And of course, as we're about to talk about the confirmation of the recruiting class that's coming in, or at least the key piece of said recruiting class, obviously there's been an awful lot of speculation recently, and it's for the fact that a lot of people find it really easy to believe that Coach Prime could very easily end up on the sidelines of the Dallas Cowboys next season. But the problem with that is you still got to deal with Jerry Jones. I've been talking about that quite a bit over the last couple of days. I'm not going to keep beating that over the head because I think we've already gone over that. And let's look at it like this. He's not going to have anywhere near the same level of power or just control whatsoever. It's not even about power, it's about the control you have over the operation that is an actual football team. And just given the fact that Jerry Jones is still operating the way that we've been seeing him operate, it's no wonder you won't see the likes of a Coach Belichick or even a Coach Prime, for that matter, actually get there, because he's just going to get in the way. And that's the last thing that we want to see for Coach Prime in this regard. And just looking at it from this vein, just looking at this recruiting class, which, the one 5-star obviously being JuJu Lewis, but I'm looking at this right here. We've got 6 seven 4-stars actually, including an O lineman, two receivers, two DBs, a linebacker, and a D lineman. And of course, you've got a couple of tight ends coming in with that are 3 stars. And that's not even factoring in the transfer portal and what may come through that way. Needless to say, he's actually generated not even so much a significant amount of buzz, but it's just his influence, especially with what he's actually been able to accomplish just in this season in Boulder, is something that I think it really just goes without saying, you don't see the kind of turnarounds that you've seen with the Colorado Buffaloes over the last couple of seasons without it being thought of as something remarkable. And just going from 5-12 to now, actually, I believe they're 7-2, 8-2, but either way, again, we're looking at what might actually likely be a bid for the college football playoff and a shot at the national championship, which is something they haven't had in literally a couple of decades. So I think the notion of him sticking around, he's even said as much. He even has been on the show, the Joe Klatt show, and has talked about just what that means. And of course, in addition to the issues that you'd have with a Jerry Jones, you got to deal with a lot of dudes that are looking to just really be about the money. I mean, NIL is one thing, but it's a whole other beast when we're talking about the NFL. And who knows that better than Coach Prime? So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and close this out with just the subject of the day. I don't even need to remind you. Obviously, you likely saw earlier this morning on the Pat McAfee show, JuJu Lewis was on and actually confirmed his commitment to the Colorado Buffaloes. And I think this was pretty obvious. We've all known this for literally a couple of weeks now, I'm thinking, because it's been highly talked about. But more importantly than that, of course, you see him in the photo here with Miss Peggy. I'm pretty sure this was actually this past weekend in their matchup against, I believe that was Texas Tech. Yeah, it was Texas Tech. And he, along with a lot of the other recruits that are coming in, were seen in the stands. And of course, it was talked about like that's literally the future of CU football that they were looking at right there. So, you know, again, just going back to talking about Coach Prime, we're looking at something that's being built here that normally you would find typical of the likes of bigger name schools like LSU, Alabama, Michigan, like the legacy schools. We're actually seeing CU become something of a legacy school. Now, it's going to be a bit before we can fully look at it that way, realistically, but there's just no way that we're not going to see it in the long run. And given that the kickstand, as Coach Prime put it, is down, I mean, take that for whatever you will. I just feel as though there's just something special that's being established, and I'm happy to be not too far away from that. I'm not going to go into the actual distance because there is a bit of a drive for me on that. But either way, I gotta say I'm looking forward to seeing JuJu and the rest of the crew do their thing in 2025. And with that in mind, y'all know what it is. Let me know what y'all think down below. For those of you that are CU fans, I'm thinking y'all gotta be hyped for this. So let's let the good times roll. With that in mind, y'all know there's going to be more.